Hello and welcome to another ASC Productions video. I apologize, life has gotten a little crazy for me. I've been wanting to post this video for a while, but this is my first chance I've really had to sit down and record the video. So it'll be a couple days before this is out, but better late than never. So today what we're going to be doing is gaming on my Lenovo Ideapad 1 with the Celeron N4020. So I'm pretty excited to do this. As I showed in my previous video, one of the great things about this laptop, at least from my initial experience with it, is it didn't seem to thermal throttle nearly as much as the N4000 processor that's in my Ideapad 130S. And so hopefully that gives us a little bit better experience in gaming. Obviously, we're not going to get a great experience gaming to begin with. This is a $200 laptop or sub $200 laptop. And you can't expect an amazing performance out of such an inexpensive brand new machine. But you should be able to do some casual gaming, and that's what we're looking at today. So I have my requisite accessories in addition to the laptop. I got my charging cable. I have my cooling pad. I've featured this in a few other videos, but these laptops do not have active cooling. And so for peace of mind, I have something that I can put under that, under the laptop to make sure that it gets adequate airflow. Now, I sometimes have the front fans running, sometimes I do not. I don't know if they make that big of a difference, as much as just having air under the laptop, be able to pass over it, makes a big difference for sure. If you ever do anything where you're actually pushing the system much at all, and you're going to be putting it on a bed or on your lap, something like that, pick up one of these. They're like 10-15 bucks. I'll put a link to this one in the description. They're not very expensive at all, and they will definitely keep your laptop cooler. If not the laptop cooler, your lap cooler. I also have my Amazon Basics mouse, because if you're gaming on a laptop like this, you're not going to spend almost as much as you did for the laptop on a decent mouse. I have my personal air conditioner, and I have at least enough Monster for a good 20 minutes worth of gaming. So let's go ahead, we'll readjust the camera and get set up here to play some games. I do have a device that will screen capture. Unfortunately, every time I use that, it really hampers the performance of the machine, and so I don't want to be using that. So I do just record the screen itself. I know it isn't as good a quality, but I find that it gives you, the viewer, a much better representation of the performance of the laptop. So let's get her spun around and get to some gaming. All right, so here we are. Got the computer here in front of us. I have Fraps running. First thing that we'll do is go ahead and load up a Roblox game. All right, and the first game we'll play is Jailbreak. This is kind of my go-to. I've played it with a lot of the laptops I've run, just as comparison. You go back and see how it has run on those other systems. We're just joining a server right now. You'll have to excuse me, I only play this game specifically for videos, so let's go, we'll be a police. Alright. Oh, I don't think I've ever flown a jet before. Let's see if I can fly a jet. No, I have to spend money on it. Darn. Alright. So we definitely hang around that 30 frames a second mark. And right now we're getting 40 frames a second. That's not bad. But you definitely have some dips in there. We've seen 15 frames a second, even into single digits a couple times, but I think the biggest problem you run into with this game is when you're playing a game with a lot of other players at the same time. And I'm trying to find some other players to see if we can find some of that here, but don't know if we will be able to. But yeah, so see the frames up there again. We're sitting about 25 frames a second here in the city with more artifacts, bumping up to 30. I apologize, I'm doing this through the camera again, so it's gonna have a lot of delay there. Alright, so let's go ahead. I think that's good enough. Let's move on to the next game. Alright, so the next game we're going to play is Minecraft. I created a world, just generic here. Go ahead and get that loaded up. Alright, when you first load the game, it does take a few moments to kind of load in all the different textures and everything. And for the most part, we're sticking in that. Oh, we're even hitting 50 frames a second. I've usually been between 25 and 30 frames a second for the most part. Let me show you what graphics settings I've changed here. The options and video settings. So we have our graphics are fancy. Our particles are decreased. Clouds are off. And render distance is dropped to 6 chunks. Now that seems to have done a pretty good job of making the game very playable. Now, when you have to load in new chunks, it will slow down quite significantly. So that is something to keep in mind, is that you will run into that problem where it will slow down if you have to load in new chunks. But typically that's not too much of an issue. You're not constantly loading new chunks as you go along. You're just playing where you're playing at, and then you move from one place to another slowly. You're not flying through super quick. So definitely much more playable. And I'm not feeling the dips that I got previously on the previous laptop. I definitely am getting better frames per second. Despite having the same graphics card, I definitely feel like performance in this game specifically is improved. Alright, let's close out of this. Alright, the next game that we're going to play is Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. This is one of my absolute favorite games ever. So it's important to me that I can play this now. It is an old game, early 2000s here, so it shouldn't have any problems running on this system. Go ahead and just do a new game, begin game, and we'll skip the intro here. That always takes forever. Alright, now we're in the game. We're going to do my favorite thing. Because what is the point of playing a Star Wars game without a lightsaber? There we go. Yeah, we're hitting 91 frames a second in this game. This game, again, it's an old game, and it wasn't a super high, it didn't require super high-end graphics when it came out. So I'm not surprised in the slightest that it plays just fine on here. But that's one of the great things with this laptop, is you're able to play these older games. It's super thin, light. A game like this, you can play with your friends, to bring it to a LAN party, connect over the Wi-Fi, play some older games like this, really have some fun. And really have some fun. So alright, that's probably enough of that. But yeah, great game, and really plays really well and smooth on this machine. Exit out, quit program. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and load up a couple of Steam games. These I have not played yet. Does anybody recognize my background, where that's from? It's an artist rendition, and I love it. It's a really nice picture. Alright, so just have a few games installed locally here. We have Half-Life 2, Portal 2, and Ultimate Chicken Horse. So let's go ahead and load up Half-Life 2. Now let's just do a new game. Start from there. And let's go to our options, video, running at native resolution, go to advanced, high, enabled, reflect world. So everything's on pretty good graphics there. What happened? Okay, resume game. And we're, 100 plus frames a second. Oh yeah. So this game plays just fine on here, no issues at all whatsoever. A little bit of screen tearing, but other than that, it's running at such a high refresh rate. The screen itself probably is only running at 60, possibly even only 45 megahertz. So, or frames per second. I should say megahertz, that's wrong. Only hertz. There we go. Only running at like 60 or even 45 frames a second. So, but the game itself is running super well. Everything looks great. That's probably good enough. Let's go ahead and close out of this and get on to our next game. Alright, so now we're moving on to Portal 2. Let's go to options. We're going to set the video to be advanced video. Back. I'm going to apply that. Back. We're going to go play single player. New game. Just pick somewhere in the middle and play. Alright, and we're sitting at 30 frames a second. For a game like this that's not a first-person shooter, this seems like a fairly reasonable frame rate. So, yeah, it's 50, 49. So it's definitely in that 30 to 60 frames a second, depending on what's going on the screen. Definitely would put that in the good enough to play this game on the regular. Alrighty. There you go. That's probably good enough, right? I think that's very playable. Oh. Exit to main menu. Exit. Quit. Alright, so we have one more game to play here. We're going to look at Ultimate Chicken Horse, which is a newer game. Very fun game. And I haven't played this game on here, so I don't know quite how it will run. So we will see. Play local. I don't know if it'll let me do just a one player. We'll see. I'll be the horse. Oh, I'll have to get my controller. Have a second player. Won't let me play with just one person. Alright. Go with the raccoon. Nope. Okay. So we got that. And we're not going to go through a whole game here. We're just going to do this here. Okay. This game is so funny. Alright. That's good enough. We'll end that there. But yeah, we're getting above 30 frames per second, which is something I think is very favorable on this machine. This is I wouldn't say it's a newer game, but definitely a very fun, modern game. So if you're looking at independent games, you're looking at some older titles, stuff from the mid to late 2000s. If you're looking for more low-end online games, definitely something to look at. I really wanted to put Rocket League on here, but I didn't have enough room. It took up more room than I simply had on the machine with the games that I have installed. So I have Minecraft, Star Wars, Roblox, Half-Life 2, Portal 2, and Ultimate Chicken Horse, and that's basically all I have installed on here. I don't have any personal files yet, and we've used all but 7.25 gigs, so not a lot of room left on this machine for much. Now I did finally get the two M.2 drives, M.2 drive slots, to see if I can increase this to a higher capacity NVMe drive. Hopefully we can. That'll require some soldering skill on my end, which I'm not the greatest solderer. Hopefully I don't ruin the laptop. But that hopefully will be the next video you see, is actually upgrading that drive slot on here, or adding that drive slot on here, upgrading the storage, being able to add more storage, faster storage to this machine, and play games from there. Because on these machines in the past, when I've added storage, it significantly improves the performance of the machine by quite a bit. Like, it's a fairly significant improvement in overall system performance by adding the faster storage. Anyways, kind of long video. Went through a lot of games here. Hopefully that gives you a good example of what you're looking for. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, leave those down in the comment section down below. I'll do my best to answer those. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.